Tonight, more testimony from the trial of an elderly woman accused of killing her husband. New exhibits from the Crown as it argues a gambling addiction was a factor. Another affordable housing project delayed.
It speaks to our priorities as a community when, we can't find a way to get this to go through.
Inside the conversation on putting off a major plan while the wait list gets longer. Also, Unsolved 519.
Even the smallest detail could help.
CTV's Hannah Schmidt begins a new series, reconnecting with families of missing or murdered loved ones looking for closure. Tonight,
I fear we will never know what happened to Mary.
What happened to Mary Hammond? Good evening. We begin with more testimony from the trial of Elfgard Outred, an elderly Brantford woman who's charged with second-degree murder in the death of her husband, Gordon. Well, the trial is on pause today, but we have new video tonight of one of the exhibits that was shown yesterday as the Crown was making its case. CTV's Jeff Pickle joining us now live with the latest. And Jeff, yesterday we heard from Gordon's son, and we learned more about what Elfgard was up to on the day of Gordon's death.
Well, Tony, the son of the victim and the stepson of the accused, Warren Outred, testified yesterday about seeing Elfgard's orange Jeep at the casino in the months and days before Gordon's death. And we heard how he spoke to his father about financial issues. Then court heard from an OPP detective who tracked Elfgard's movements on the day Gordon was killed, from the farm to the casino and then inside.
On the day of her husband's death, the Crown says Elfgard Outred spent about 30 minutes at Casino Brantford. Gordon Outred died in his home on November 24, 2022. The cause of death, blunt force trauma. The Crown alleges Elfgard Outred killed her husband by attacking him with a hammer. They say Elfgard had a gambling addiction that was the source of conflict in their relationship. In court Wednesday, OPP Detective Alan Stevenson testified about surveillance footage from the day Gordon died. Video and images show Elfgard's orange Jeep Compass traveling the route from their farm to Casino Brantford. The video from the 24th of November shows Elfgard walking into the Brantford Casino, going up the escalator before sitting down at a slot machine and then leaving after roughly 30 minutes. Yesterday, Gordon Outred's son testified that 6 months prior to Gordon's death, he saw Elfgard's Jeep at the casino and told his father, who reportedly confronted Elfgard, saying, "If you go back to the casino, pack your bags and go live there." Then, the week of Gordon's death, his son Warren said he saw Elfgard's Jeep again at the casino. Warren Outred says he told his father, "If you are a few $1,000s missing, you might have a problem." He says this conversation happened 2 days before Gordon's death.
And on cross-examination, Elfgard's defense lawyer clarified with Outred's son that he never actually witnessed Gordon confront Outred about these gambling and money issues, and confirmed that Warren Outred, when his father died, that he took over his dad's portion of the family farm. Court is expected to return tomorrow. Tony?
Okay, and we'll be covering it when it resumes. Jeff, thank you. CTV's Jeff Pickle with the latest from that murder trial in Brantford. And time now for a look at the weather as we head over to Ashley Bacon for our first look at the forecast. Boy, a beautiful day now, but I've got to tell you, when I went out for a run this morning, it was a little bit windy.
Yes.
Blew my cap off twice, actually.
Oh, no. Okay.
And I went running after it. But anyone who was out there taking advantage of the outdoors this morning knows it turned nice quickly.
Not bad. I mean, we did start off, as you said, a little windy, but the sun was out and then rain came through. But by this afternoon, the sun was shining again. And the good news is we've just reached our daytime expected high, 18 degrees in the last hour or so. So temperatures are only just getting better at the moment. If you have a chance to head outside, I strongly recommend you doing so, because unfortunately, we've got a little rain on the way. Let's take a look at our radar, get a little little bit of an idea here. So we've got this band of precipitation. Now that's what pushed through this afternoon. That's continuing to move east and north. We are going to see some more rain start to make its way through the region after midnight tonight, and will be consistent through the day tomorrow. Right now, we are looking at 18 degrees, southwesterly wind at 32 kilometers an hour, and here's just a little sneak peek of what tomorrow might bring with it. Around 11 millimeters of rain, Tony. So don't put those umbrellas away too far yet, because you're going to need them.
All right, Ash, thank you. We'll talk to you soon. Legal arguments were made today at the sexual assault trial of billionaire businessman Frank Stronach, where his defense alleged some complainants in the case were coached by the prosecution. CTV's John Musselman reports.
Frank Stronach returned to court this morning, but it wasn't to hear evidence at his trial. Instead, his lawyers presented an abuse of process application to the judge, arguing that both the police and the Crown were negligent when they failed to record meetings with the complainants before trial and then coached the complainants during preparation meetings. The defense also claims that note-taking was careless and deficient. Quote, there was no proper, authentic record of these conversations with the Crown and the complainants. We are left with breadcrumbs. In its response to the application, the Crown told the judge there is no lost evidence, and the summary of the interviews was given to the defense, adding the evidence provided by the complainants was presented and cross-examined at the trial. Stronach, who's 93 years old, has pleaded not guilty to all charges of sexual assault. The Crown withdrew charges from one of the complainants last week when the judge ruled her testimony was not reliable. The allegations against him date back more than 40 years. There is no jury in this case. It will be decided by judge alone following final submissions. John Musselman, CTV News.
Provincial police say 2 more people have died following a crash last week in Oxford County. That brings the number of lives lost in that collision to 5. Emergency responders were called to a crash between an SUV and a transport truck on March 31st along Highway 59 near Norwich. A Cambridge resident and 2 teens were pronounced dead at the scene. Today, the OPP announced that 2 passengers, a 21-year-old and a 46-year-old, both from Tillsonburg, have now died. Police say no charges will be filed and no further information will be released. Another affordable housing project in Waterloo Region is being delayed. Rising construction costs once again prompting councillors to put off a plan at a time when local wait lists for this kind of housing have now reached more than 11,000. CTV's Spencer Turcott takes us inside the conversation about an issue that's described as a crisis.
Affordable housing plans in Waterloo Region are facing another setback.
Staff arrived at the difficult recommendation that you have in front of you, in that we continue to postpone the redevelopment of Moorgate.
Regional staff made this recommendation for the affordable housing redevelopment project along Moorgate Crescent because of rising costs and financial uncertainty.
None of those scenarios in the current market environment would be feasible without a significant capital contribution from the region to incentivize it moving forward.
The project is expected to cost nearly $300 million and deliver 378 units, but regional staff say current market conditions simply don't support moving forward. Despite the recommendation carrying unanimously, it was deflating to hear for some councillors.
It speaks to our priorities as a community when, we can't find a way to get this to go through, but some other projects have landed on our books that are going ahead without this type of analysis and type of passion. So I'll leave that there.
It comes at a time when the number of people on a wait list for this type of housing continues to grow.
Our latest numbers have us just about 11,500 on our current centralized wait list.
It's hard to hear those numbers. I know there's been people waiting for probably a decade to get into housing.
The Moorgate redevelopment isn't the only affordable housing project that's been set aside. It's part of a broader regional housing revitalization plan which includes 6 properties. So far, 3 of those projects are already under construction, but the remaining 3, including Moorgate, are postponed as the region looks for outside funding and partnership opportunities.
We want to see this succeed in a way that makes sense, that also doesn't hamstring future councils and future staff budgets with significant debt servicing.
For now, that means a longer period of limbo for those who have been relocated due to planned construction, as well as uncertainty for anyone hoping to get into affordable housing in the first place. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News Kitchener.
In Ottawa today, all kinds of questions about MP Marilyn Gladu, a social conservative who yesterday became the latest to jump over to the Liberals. CTV's Abigail Beeman tells us more about what the Prime Minister and the Conservative leader had to say about this and the possibility that the floor crossing is not over yet.
The Liberals are in for 4 long years.
A conservative so dyed in the wool she dressed up as death.
Death is not ready for you.
To pump up her election-defeated colleagues a decade ago. A few years later,
my name is Marilyn Gladu, and I'm running to be the federal leader of the Conservative Party and the next Prime Minister of Canada.
Today's Liberal Prime Minister left explaining how the newly bigger tent Liberal Party absorbs Gladu, a social conservative who fought a bill banning conversion therapy for being too broad and said she'd allow MPs to advance bills restricting abortion.
She will vote with the government if there are votes relating to any aspect of that issue, as well as the rights of Canadians to be their whole selves, to love who they love, and to fully enjoy their rights.
Mark Carney is saying to Canadians, your vote does not count.
In BC, the Conservative leader said constituents should be able to have a by-election after a floor crossing, and he deflected a question about what losing 4 MPs means for his leadership.
87% of grassroots Conservatives who backed up my leadership less than 90 days ago to fight for an affordable, safe, and strong Canada. Our mandate and my leadership does not come from dirty backroom deals.
While the newest federal party leader sees the floor crossings as an opportunity.
They're getting floor crossers from the extreme right, and I don't know what it means to be a Liberal anymore. Canadians need a progressive alternative, and the lane is wide open for the NDP there.
Asked about the possibility of even more floor crossers, which has political circles buzzing, the Prime Minister said in this process he's nearly the last to know. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
It's day 2 of a fragile ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran. But the shaky deal is facing headwinds as Tehran accuses the U.S. and Israel of violating the terms. CTV's Joy Malbin has this report from Washington.
Israel blew up bridges in Lebanon in its battle against Iranian-backed Hezbollah militants. Yesterday's bombings in Beirut, one of the deadliest, says the health ministry, killing hundreds and wounding more. Angering Iran, who insists that attacking Lebanon is off limits and part of the ceasefire.
No ceasefire ever goes without a little bit of choppiness. What we have been very clear about is that we want to stop the bombing. We want our allies to stop the bombing, and we want the Iranians to do the same thing.
The Trump administration asked Israel to scale back. Today, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu authorizing direct talks with Lebanon aimed at disarming Hezbollah and bolstering a shaky truce with Iran that still has a grip on the Strait of Hormuz. Video shows very little traffic moving through the critical oil and shipping route, opening it a key demand from President Donald Trump, who issued a new warning saying the U.S. military will remain in Iran until such time as the real agreement reached is fully complied with. If not, then the shooting starts bigger and better and stronger. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte says the alliance is working with Washington to keep the strait open. President Trump has repeatedly threatened to withdraw from NATO over a lack of support for his war in Iran.
Some allies were a bit slow, to say the least. But what I see when I look across Europe today is allies providing a massive amount of support, basing, logistics and other measures to ensure the powerful U.S. military succeeds in denying Iran a nuclear weapon.
And those high-stakes peace talks set to take place this weekend in Pakistan. The president telling reporters that he's optimistic, adding that if Iran doesn't make a deal, it will be very painful. Joy Malbin, CTV News, Washington.
A train to cottage country is coming back. Just ahead, we've got the latest on the plan to return passenger rail service from Toronto through Muskoka and into far northern Ontario.
Well, I hope you got out and enjoyed the sunshine today because more rain is on the way. Just how long will it last? Will the whole weekend be a washout? Those details with your full weather forecast coming up. Stay with us.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news.
Well, the province is making progress in its drive to bring the Northlander train service back. It's going to run from Union Station in Toronto all the way up to Timmins, with stops in between. As CTV's Eric Tashner tells us, the first phase of testing is almost complete.
Chugging into the station and stepping off one of 3 new 169-seat Northlander train sets returning to the tracks in the coming months.
This is a long time coming.
Premier Doug Ford is tooting his government's horn about the promised passenger rail revival project, 14 years after it was cancelled under the previous government.
This is the best announcement the North has ever seen since I've been elected.
The province is getting close to completing what's called the burn-in testing on the first train set, which has traveled more than 1,600 kilometers to simulate regular service.
We're spending a tremendous amount of money for people that would never, ever have an opportunity to hop on the train.
The train will soon enter the next phase of testing and commissioning, where staff will be trained on the equipment and run emergency exercises to make sure all safety and operating systems are working properly.
This is such an important service for our northern communities. It connects people to jobs, education, medical appointments.
The second train set will soon start its own testing and commissioning, with Ontario Northland saying a full relaunch is coming in the next few months.
We won't announce that start date until we are confident that we can operate a safe, accessible service throughout the North.
The anticipated launch fares are approximately 10% above the standard rate of travel on an Ontario Northland bus. For example, a ticket from Toronto to Timmins and Cochrane will cost about $188, with reduced price for seniors, students, military personnel, and people who need to travel for medical purposes.
People want an affordable ticket, so we priced a fair price for this wonderful service.
The Northlander will travel 740 kilometers between Timmins and Toronto, with a rail connection to Cochrane for a total of 16 stops.
You have a choice between that bus and this, night and day.
Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
A spring tradition dating back to the 1960s is back for more in Belmore, Ontario, near Walkerton. CTV's Scott Miller has more on the sweet success that keeps people coming back to the tiny village each and every April.
The Belmore Arena is packed, which means only one thing. It's time for the 56th edition of the Belmore Maple Syrup Festival.
I think for a lot of people, it's like old home week. They see people they went to high school with or played ball with or lived next door to 50 years ago.
For the past 56 years, pancake lovers from across Ontario have converged on the tiny village of Belmore for a heaping plate of pancakes and syrup, but also small town charm, where after picking up your initial plate of food, volunteers hand deliver seconds, thirds, as many pancakes as you can eat.
I just enjoy meeting all the people and seeing different, some of them you just see once a year, when they come here. So, no, I just enjoy doing it.
Over today and Saturday, 150 gallons of maple syrup will be poured, 200 dozen eggs will be cracked, 600 kilograms of flour will be sifted, and 4,000 pounds of sausage will be consumed.
We usually have around between 5,000 and 6,000 people, so 2 or 3 pancakes each, it mounts up over 20,000. So
300 volunteers make the 2-day event go. Everyone from 93-year-old Mary Mighton clearing tables.
I really enjoy doing it, meeting all the new people and everything. It's enjoyable. I love the volunteering.
to the next generation, sneaking in some pancakes between shifts.
This morning I was in the kitchen cracking eggs for the pancakes, and I think it's important for everyone to volunteer because it takes a lot to put on this event, so we need a whole bunch of people to help out.
While most folks come from within an hour or two drive, Chris and Allison Williams came all the way from England.
Brilliant, yeah, very well organised, great food, so marvellous, yeah.
I thought it'd be really good, since my sister and brother-in-law were visiting from England, to bring them to see some real Canadian heritage and traditions. So this is a perfect place for it.
We might have to take some maple syrup back with us.
The pancakes and syrup keep flowing on Saturday in Belmore. All proceeds go towards keeping the Belmore Arena running.
We're quite proud of that we can do it without government dollars.
In Belmore, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Wow, that was a lot of pancakes and a lot of people. Ashley, we are going to Belmore next year to have some pancakes. Ashley's going to be back with our forecast in just a few moments, which is feeling a lot more like spring and right now looking a lot more like April as well. Beautiful sunset across the region, milder temperatures, but what does the weekend have in store for us? We'll get into that in a few minutes. Also coming up, we will head to Drayton, where students from all over the area got the day off school to see a musical produced and directed by sisters who are hoping to bring more theater to kids in rural communities. But next, Hannah Schmidt joins us for part one of her series Unsolved 519 as we put a fresh focus on local cases of murdered and missing people. Tonight, what happened to Mary Hammond? Well, Ashley's back with our forecast. You know, I mentioned how windy it was this morning and then how nice it got, but I forgot that part that you mentioned during first weather in between, which was the downpour we got late this morning. Do you know when that happened?
When you were going for a walk, probably.
No. I'm going to tell you when it happened. This is the kind of luck I have. 10 minutes after I emerged from the car wash.
Oh, no.
My car was absolutely filthy, and I decided I couldn't let it go another day, so I drove through the car wash this morning. Got here to work and parked. 10 minutes later,
you know, Tony's talking about rain, but I can't stop thinking about the pancakes that I was promised before the commercial break.
Listen, another spring tradition, maple syrup.
Oh, yeah.
There was one shot in that story where they were pouring so much syrup on the pancakes and the sausages, and I thought, bring it on.
Oh, there's a bacon joke in there somewhere. But we'll leave that now and go head outside and check out the beautiful evening we are having from Galt in Cambridge. That is the Grand River, and it is still very fast-paced. I mean, obviously, we've had all of, if not all, close to all of the snow melt around the region recently, and we've had a lot of rainfall, so water levels still very high and rushing, and as you can see there, just a beautiful evening out, about 18 degrees right now in Waterloo Region. So if you get a chance to step outside for a few minutes, do so, because tomorrow, unfortunately, is not going to be as nice for outdoor activities. As we take a look at the futurecast, we're starting to see some clearing of the rain we saw earlier today. That's pushing through, but we're not far away from another system. That's expected to start moving in over around a midnight hour, and that will continue to have rainfall through most of your Friday. So we won't see heavy rainfalls, but we are expecting for it to be consistent. Good news is, though, after midnight, things are going to start to clear out, and it's shaping up to be a really beautiful Saturday. As we look at what's happening across the country right now, 13 degrees in Victoria, just over the other side of the Rockies. 5 with a bit of sunshine in Edmonton. Moving over to the Prairie Provinces, 6 degrees in Regina, 2 for Winnipeg and Thompson, but a little bit more cloudy there. Over in the nation's capital of Ottawa, 15 degrees and a bit of sunshine. The cloud cover ever so slight there as well. -1 in St. John's with sunshine, but here in Waterloo Region, check out that temperature, 18 degrees at around 6:30 p.m. I'll take it. That is a sure sign that spring is here and summer is on the way. Overnight conditions, we're dipping down to 2 degrees. Not too bad for this time of year. Above seasonal still. 20 to 40 kilometer-an-hour wind gusts through the evening hours. So it could be a bit windy out there at times. Tomorrow, temperatures right where we should be for this time of year. 9 degrees, the expected daytime high. With it, some rain. But of course, even though that there will be some rain, we are expecting a high UV index of 9. So if you are headed outside, even if it is a bit cloudy out, I would suggest maybe a bit of sunscreen and a hat just to be safe. Sun setting now at 7:58 p.m. So just a few minutes away from an 8 p.m. sunset, which is great news. Back in 1972, minus 11.1 was our overnight record low. So by comparison, 2 degrees tonight, not too bad. As we take a look at our 7-day forecast, starting in Waterloo Region, Saturday, you'll see sun and sunny conditions. The rain moving back into play by Sunday, though. But check out those temperatures, Tony. 15 on Sunday, 18 for both Monday and Tuesday. Not too bad. In Lambton, Kent, Essex, similar conditions. Showers for your Friday and 13 degrees, 12 on Saturday, but then 21, 23, and 22 degrees expected for your Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. To really starting to feel closer and closer to summer-like conditions. And of course, April showers bring May flowers, so we just got to put up with it for a few more weeks, right? In southern Georgian Bay, you're going to see a little bit cooler conditions for your Friday. A mix of snow and rain. Temperatures likely to go past 0 overnight, and that was when that conversion could take place. Sunny and 8 for Saturday and 16 by your Sunday. Okay, let's take a look at today's Weather Watcher picture sent in from Catherine, who took this picture yesterday morning in the Guelph area of the beautiful sunrise. And this snap was taken around 6:30 a.m. Absolutely stunning colors there, Tony. And what a great way to cap off a Thursday.
Oh, it is beautiful. Ash, thank you so much. Tonight, we're launching a new series called Unsolved 519, revisiting some local cases of missing and murdered people and the families who are still living those stories as they look for answers. We begin tonight with the disappearance of 25-year-old Mary Hammond in Brantford more than 40 years ago. CTV's Hannah Schmidt has spent extensive time putting this series together and connecting with families and investigators, and joins us now with the first installment. So Hannah, take us back to what we know about Mary Hammond and her disappearance.
Well, Tony, Mary Hammond was a newlywed, just 25 years old, who went missing while she was walking to work back in 1983. It wasn't until almost 40 years later that police announced a major break in the case. A suspect presumed to have killed her, but that still didn't give her family the answers they've been waiting for. More than 40 years ago, Mary Hammond disappeared without a trace as she was walking to work at a bakery on Morton Avenue in Brantford. It was September 8th, 1983, at around 3:30 in the morning. Her footprints were later traced to a nearby field where the trail went cold.
I fear we will never know what happened to Mary. Her absence leaves a deep wound.
Almost 40 years later, in 2022, husband Larry said her disappearance was still being felt.
Those that knew her lost a little sunshine.
A family spending decades trying to find out what happened.
We have searched and hoped for answers.
What police did find were items from her lunchbox and a small amount of blood.
A search for Mary began.
Days later, officers searched a home on Memorial Drive, collecting evidence that would remain in police custody for decades, until a break in the case in 2022.
Through the historical evidence seized and with the advancements in mitochondrial DNA analysis, we were able to forensically link Mary Hammond to a man believed to be responsible.
Stephen Mudko was announced as a suspect in Mary's presumed abduction and murder. Mudko died in 2010.
Releasing a historical photograph of Stephen Mudko in hopes that it may trigger someone's memory to provide additional information.
Police said Mudko was 36 years old when Mary went missing and that he lived in Brantford. They believe he acted alone. Investigators say if he were alive today, he would be charged with abduction and first-degree murder.
We think he may have known the family loosely, but there was no intimate connection between Mudko and the family.
And for the family, there were still no answers to the heartbreaking questions. Where is Mary?
We have traveled from North Bay and Ottawa to be here today to ask anyone who may have information to come forward. Even the smallest detail could help. Our greatest wish is to lay Mary to rest with the dignity and love she deserves.
And why did she never come home? Police say they're still hoping someone comes forward with new information because for Mary's family, this isn't just a cold case. It's a search that's never stopped. And tomorrow, in part 2 of Mary's story, I'll hear from her family today about how this case has affected them and how they are carrying her memory forward. Tony.
Okay. Hannah, thank you so much. That's CTV's Hannah Schmidt. And of course, in addition to part 2 tomorrow, we are just getting started with this series. Hannah will have much more reporting on additional cases in the weeks and months to come. But coming up next for us tonight, more people hitting the brakes over high gas prices. Rideshare drivers saying it's just not worth it. On day 2 of the ceasefire in Iran, gas prices have yet to return to previous levels, and it is having repercussions if you need to get around. Even rideshare drivers are turning calls down if they think it isn't worth the cost of fuel. CTV's Heather Wright now with the ongoing ripple effect of the war.
Erla Phillips has been a rideshare driver for nearly 10 years, and she has never made less money than she is right now.
It has been really difficult. There's not enough work to go around, and the work that is offered to us is very low paying.
She drives with Uber and Lyft and says the algorithms used by the two companies mean some rides only pay out $2 or $3. That, coupled with the high price of gas, means she's flat out rejecting rides that won't turn a profit.
And you were saying that you used to have a high acceptance rate.
At one point, I was 85%.
And now?
Now it fluctuates between the high teens and, 20-something.
Phillips says she's not the only driver struggling. She says some are quitting altogether, while others are losing their cars.
There are drivers that are having their cars repossessed. There are drivers that are going to food banks. I'm one of them, because I can't afford. Not making enough money.
Lyft did not respond to our request for comment. In a statement, Uber says they are giving drivers increased cash back at the pump when they use their Uber Pro card. The intention is to provide relief for drivers and delivery people while rider and consumer prices remain stable and affordable. But some drivers say it's not enough to cover the sky-high price at the pumps.
Can you make money on Uber with the price?
No. And Uber do not increase the price also.
For Erla Phillips, she wants companies like Uber and Lyft to change how they pay their drivers.
This is a service that people rely on, a service that people value, but the companies don't value us. We take all the liability, we take all the expense on our shoulders, and they continue to lower pay.
And this is the reality for many gig workers who are struggling. It's a reminder, Erla Phillips says, to be kind and also tip if possible. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Recapping our top stories now with CTV's Krista Simpson in studio. And Krista, we have some surveillance video shown at the second-degree murder trial of Elfgard Outred.
Tony, Outred is accused of killing her husband, Gordon. He was found dead at their home on November 24th, 2022. The Crown is putting forward evidence showing Outred spent about 30 minutes at a Brantford casino that day. Footage of Elfgard's movements around the facility was shown to the jury. The Crown is making the case that Elfgard had a gambling addiction and was a source of conflict with her husband. An affordable housing project planned for Kitchener has been delayed due to rising costs. The redevelopment of a building on Moorgate Crescent is expected to come with a price tag of nearly $300 million. Regional councillors voted to set it to the side for now until other funding and partnership opportunities can be found. comes as more than 11,000 people are on the region's wait list for affordable housing.
And Krista, on our website today, a warning from police about a puppy scam that cost a person in Mount Forest around $2,000.
Tony, police say the person purchased a puppy through social media from what they thought was a dog breeder and paid through an e-transfer. Then they were told they needed to pay even more so that the puppy could be transported from Northern Ontario. That's when the person became suspicious of the situation and contacted police. For more information on this story, scan the QR code on the bottom left of your screen to get it on our CTV News app or to download the app right now. You could also visit ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
Probably important information. Okay, Krista, thank you. CTV's Krista Simpson with our top stories. Well, a new permanent tenant has been announced for the old Hudson's Bay location at London's White Oaks Mall. IKEA is launching a new concept store. It's going to be the first of its kind in Canada. CTV's Nick Paparella has details.
It's a sign that is recognized around the world. The Swedish retail giant IKEA will soon be opening its doors in London, occupying part of the space that once housed the Hudson's Bay Company at White Oaks Mall. Sarah Imrie is with the mall.
We are absolutely thrilled to be able to let the cat out of the bag and talk about the exciting reimagining of the former Hudson's Bay space that we've been working on for so long.
This is the second time IKEA has set up in London. However, in June of 2020, the company decided to close its pickup depot on Wonderland Road South. Sarah says this store will provide more than the last site, but less than a traditional full-size IKEA location, with over 2,000 home essentials that will be available for cash and carry.
It's a new type of small store designed for everyday convenience. So they say small store, but it's like 45,000 square feet that's going to take up the ground floor of our 165,000 square feet of space that we have in the mall to repurpose.
Renovations are already underway, with the IKEA store set to open its doors in the fall.
They are a wonderful partner that we're really excited to work with, and I hope the community is as excited as we are.
Nick Paparella, CTV News.
A Canadian man married to 4 women at the same time. Just ahead, CTV's John Woodward with a W5 investigation into what's been called an open secret when it comes to marriage license approvals. Legal marriage in Canada requires only 2 consenting adults who are not currently married. However, as CTV's John Woodward found out in this W5 investigation, one man was secretly married to several women at the same time, and he wasn't who they thought.
I'm 6'2", 248 pounds, combat ready.
That's Jason Washington preparing for a mixed martial arts fight in BC back in 2018. That's when a woman we're calling Sarah met him at a gym.
He walked up to me while I was training to compliment me.
You hit it off?
Yeah, we kind of hit it off.
More than hit it off. Washington proposed in just a week. He and the single mom were married 8 months later in a simple ceremony in Surrey, BC.
He told me that he was a Marine. You know, here was this big, strong man that I felt could be a husband and a father and a good role model to my son. But that's not the case, unfortunately.
She alleges he was violent with her 10-year-old son. Court records show he served a day in jail for assault. About a year later, she fled.
He still tried calling me after I came back. Then I changed my number, and then it stopped.
The pair never divorced. This marriage certificate is technically still valid. Then she found out it wasn't the only one. A social media page called Are We Dating the Same Guy featured a picture of him. Another woman, Emma, recognized him instantly, and memories from years earlier in 2014 in Richmond, BC came flooding back.
He actually even went to my dad and asked for my hand and made my dad cry, and he's telling my dad how he's going to protect me.
Emma says Washington also spanked her son, something she never expected from the charming man who proposed to her after only a month.
I just needed him out of the house so that my kids and I were safe again.
Rather than doing the paperwork, she prioritized getting away, leaving her marriage certificate also still valid. Both women were also surprised to find out that court records indicate divorce proceedings involving Jason Washington started in 2013 and never concluded. That's another marriage still on the books. Fast forward to October 2021. Wedding photos posted online show Washington at it again. Another marriage, this time in Buffalo, New York. That's about the same time he was convicted of second-degree manslaughter for speeding while drunk, killing another driver when he crossed the center line. Records show he spent just over 3 years in a U.S. prison. He was released in 2024.
How many times have you been married?
These are women I loved for many, many years.
We reached Jason Washington by phone. He said he had been married 4 times, and it was up to his wife to check the paperwork.
That was the woman's job. That was my soon-to-be wife's job to do all that.
How would your soon-to-be wife know about the previous marriages?
I've always been upfront in the 100% of who I've been married to and who I haven't. They all talk to each other, bro. They're women.
As for that manslaughter conviction,
I was convicted of manslaughter because I had a dissociative episode from combat.
Washington said he bore mental scars from his time in the Marines. We checked American military records that show he was court-martialed for what they listed as bad conduct. Sarah wishes she had known about Washington's multiple marriages, but her marriage license with him was approved without any issue.
Maybe I wouldn't be in this situation with him.
It would have been a big red flag.
It would have been a huge red flag.
American court records show Washington's most recent wife has now applied for and received a divorce. Sarah and Emma are trying to do the same thing in Canada.
John Woodward, CTV News.
And John has more of his series coming up. Tonight, he takes a look at why these illegal marriages are so easily approved. You can catch that story tonight at 11 on CTV National News. And we'll have more in just a moment. First, let's check in with Ashley.
Well, as I said earlier, you might want to get out for an evening walk tonight because more rain is on the way. It will be a wet start to your commute tomorrow. I will have those details after this break. Start your night off with E-Talk at 7, followed by Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, then Next Level Chef, and then it's back to back to back to back Big Bang.
Bounce 99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Home of Bounce Mornings with Angie Hill and Sarge. KW's Bounce 99.5. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app.
All right, Krista Simpson is back with a look at what our team will have tonight at 11:30. Krista.
Tony, the region of Waterloo Swim Club is marking a milestone, 50 years in the community. We'll have more on the accomplishments over the years and the path ahead tonight at 11:30. Tony.
All right, Krista, thank you for that. And Ashley's here with our wake-up forecast. Tomorrow's Friday. I just realized that.
Yes.
I don't know why it only dawned on me now.
And you know what? It will be a little bit of a rainy Friday, but as you said, it's Friday, so who cares there's a little rain? You know, we just got to get through it. And then Saturday is really shaping up to be a lovely sunny day. But tomorrow we got to get through some rain, about 4 degrees by 6 a.m. and 5 by 10. So at least it won't be too cold, Tony, just a bit wet out there. So you've been warned, dress appropriately.
Yep.
Take your time.
Raincoat, umbrella.
You got it.
It is the month of April.
Rubber boots if you're walking your dog because it's muddy
Good
out
idea.
there. Yeah.
Yes, it is a bit muddy.
It's a bit muddy.
Finally for us, a story about a musical that is so much more. A rendition of the popular show Mary Poppins is coming together on the stage in Drayton.
And as CTV's Karis Mapp tells us, the theater company involved is the work of 2 sisters who wanted to make sure that young people in small towns don't miss a beat.
One of the first of many curtain calls to come for these young actors with Studio 410.
Our cast is made up of 18 people, and their ages 18 and under. Our youngest is 10. And then our chorus is made up of 14 kids.
The nonprofit theater group is celebrating its 10th anniversary, putting on Mary Poppins Jr., based on the Disney classic.
I absolutely love performing. It's my #1 passion, and I feel so delighted to share the stage with such wonderful performers.
Before the show opens to the public this weekend at the Drayton Festival Theatre, students from schools across southwestern Ontario spent a day outside the classroom being the first audiences.
There's something so magical when, that we see the little kindergarten kids here looking up at their peers in some cases, just thinking like, oh, maybe I can do that too.
Everything that adds up to the shows, it just makes things 10 times better, being able to show everyone what we've been working on and inspire everybody.
All their hard work turning out to be practically perfect following 6 months of weekly rehearsals.
You put so much into it and everything's like, oh, I wonder what it's going to look like when we get onto the big stage and we can pull out like all the stops.
The idea for the theater company came after the co-directors, who are also sisters, grew up having to travel to enjoy their favorite art forms.
We grew up in rural Teeswater, Ontario, so a very small town. And as we got older, we realized that there was a gap for programming in the area.
The pair direct, choreograph, and produce 410 shows, passing their love for theater onto the younger generations.
It feels pretty good to get on the big stage and have everybody clapping for you at the end.
Watching novice performers transform into confident young adults.
I always have these like pre-show nerves, but then the second I get on stage, muscle memory kicks in and I'm just like, I've been rehearsing this, I love doing this, I'm confident, I'm Mary Poppins.
The show runs from April 11th to the 19th. Kara Smapp, CTV News, Drayton.
What a production. They've got some fantastic shows out in Drayton.
I was just blown away. Next stop, Broadway for those kids.
And no kidding. No kidding.
Wow, what talent.
I think I don't know this about you, but have you ever been in a musical?
No, I have no talent when it comes to any of that.
It's not a question of talent. It's just, have you ever been in a musical?
Is. Nope.
No?
No. I would be the lighting and production crew on the back and making sure everyone else looked good.
You know what? When I was in high school, we put on a production of The Crucible, which is a very dark, the Salem witch trials. And I got out of being in it by being the one who took the videotape of it.
And here we are today. So you never know.
Television was always brewing in us somewhere. That's our time. Krista's back here with your next local news at 11:30. Have a good night.